Hello, good afternoon. Hope you are well. I'm going to discuss about the specific AWS cloud service architecture today, specifically in North Virginia region, which is known for its vast availability and vast service availability and advanced infrastructure. The segmentation here ensures data locality and redundancy for better improvements in performance. First of all, we are going to create the VPC virtual private cloud, which is the cloud service main part of this architecture, which gives users to access logical section in the AWS cloud, which is isolated from the rest of the VPCs, where user can launch the other AWS resources such as EC2 instances and database instances. VPCs span multiple availability zones but belongs to one region. And availability zones represents distinct locations which are within the region, which are engineered to be isolated from the failure of another zone, which enables users to run fault-tolerant and highly available applications, ensuring if one data center is failed, then the application keeps and continue from the another center within the region. We are seeing VPCs having two subnets here. First of all, we talk about the VPC's CIDR, which represents classless interdomain routing. Which is 32-bit number. The first 16 bits are reserved for the network portion, and the rest 16 bits represents a private IPv4 addresses which the VPCs has. And instances, we see the VPC has two public subnets, private A and private subnet public 1 and private 1. Public 1 subnet here can directly communicate with the internet, because the communication occurs because the subnet's route table points to the VPC router, which in turn directs the network traffic to the internet gateway. But on the other hand, in private subnets, these are not routable to the internet, so that's why instances in the private network is not directly communicate with the internet. So they can access the internet only via if they routing their traffic through the network address translator, which is called NAT gateway, this guy here in the public subnet, which enables the instances in the private network, allows the instances in the private network to initiate outbound traffic to the internet, also while preventing the unwanted inbound traffic from the internet. It acts like a mediator between the internal network and the external internet here. So we place our database here in the private network, which is not accessible from the internet, but it can communicate with the services in the public subnet. Each subnet has its own IP address. A range of IP addresses belongs to one availability zone, specifies as public or private. Each subnet is must associated with the route table. Route table is the set of rules configure direct network routes to the subnet. Also specifies how the packets are forwarded between the subnets within the VPC, between the VPC or other networks, or even out of the internet. VPC has two availability zones here, A and C, A and B, and in availability zone we have another two subnets, public subnet 2 and private subnet 2. Actually, subnets in multiple availability zones are useful for deploying solutions that provide high availability. In public subnet 2, we have that holds the Windows EC2 instance, operating as a Windows workstation. which has root storage 30 GB, adds another 80 GB elastic block storage. If we say subnet, and another thing is that subnet CIDR must fit inside VPC CIDR, and these blocks subnets should not overlap with another subnet. The last step is /24. Here represents the for the network portion, and the last 8 bits are for individual host address within the network. Next we talk about how EC2 instance connect to local machine by desktop remote control for installation of SQL Server Management Studio to connect to the RDS DB instance. For this, first of all, we will go back to the EC2 instance admin console, and then we will click on the connect button. Then we will see this window under RDP client. Click on get password. Then we will see this window. We will upload the key which one we created while we were creating the instance, and downloaded our local machine. Then we will upload this one here. Then we'll be able to get these credentials, DNS, username, password, and these ones we get when we will open the remote desktop. I'm using MacBook Pro, so I'm opening Microsoft desktop, remote desktop. We will put these credentials, these ones here. So we'll be able to see this window, which is EC2 instance launch over our local machine with all these details. Finally, in the Microsoft Edge, we will put this link in, and then we will download Microsoft Server Management Studio. After installation, when we open it, then we will see this window, and in this window we will put all the credentials which one we got while we were creating the database, few credentials, and then we'll get master username and master password. And these credentials is main is the server engine or server name should be in our database. Here we can find out when we will create our database. This is our endpoints followed by comma 41433, and then we will be able to connect to our database, and the screen would look like this. And hopefully I was able to demonstrate all the process, and thank you very much. See you next time.